Hi sweet pals, welcome back to my channel. So today we are going to be making Abacha. Abacha is one of the Nigerian recipes precisely eaten in Igbo land. So every Igbo girl has to learn how to make this Abacha. And this delicacy is made from cassava tuber. And if you don't know what Abacha is, just don't worry. Grab your seat, sit back, because at the end of this video, you are going to learn a new recipe. So then, let's dive into the video. I have my cassava here, and I'm so happy that they came beautifully long, because choosing the size and length of your cassava is the very first step you take while making your Abacha. So then I'll just go ahead and wash the cassava. And before I forget this, my darlings, please don't peel off the back of your cassava before cooking it. Just go ahead and trim off the hard part of the cassava. And then you get your pot and measure out the cassava, the length, in a way is going to fit in your pot, because the length of your cassava matters a lot. And in a while you will understand why I said you shouldn't peel off the back of your cassava before cooking it. So the next thing we do is to choose the sizes of the cassava the way you are going to cook it. Like if you have the bigger ones, you cook them together, and you have the medium sizes, you cook them together, and you have smaller sizes, you also cook them together. So in that way, your cassava will cook evenly, because you don't want to overcook your cassava or make it so soft. And that is it. So I'm just going to go ahead and start cooking my cassava. So I added some water to cover the whole cassava, and then cover it and start cooking. And in order not to overcook my cassava, I usually set a timer, and here I set it for 10 minutes. And the cassava has been cooking for 10 minutes, so I have to go ahead to check on the cassava to see if it's already cooked. And I realized that it's not yet cooked, and as you can see, the center is still whitish. So I just have to go ahead and cover the cassava and set my timer again for another 3 minutes, so in order to make the cassava cook well. So after 3 minutes, I checked on the cassava again, and I realized that it's almost cracking at the center, which if I boiled it for more few minutes, I may lose the whole cassava. So the next thing, I will go ahead to start boiling the next batch. And so in a while, I'm going to show you guys another way you can always check whether your cassava is well cooked. All you have to do is just to get the cassava and cut through the cassava to remove the watery part, and then check the center. If it's no longer fresh, that means that your cassava is well cooked. You don't need to allow your cassava to get cracked before you know that it's cooked. So let's quickly check the very first one I cooked that was cracked at the middle. As you can see, the center is already like getting soft. So if I cook the cassava more than this, I'm going to end up getting an Abacha that is very soft, which is not good for a perfect Abacha. So guys, now it's time to peel the cassava. If you can remember before, I said at the beginning of the video not to peel your cassava before cooking it, and here is the reason. You don't want your cassava to be slippery while grating it. You would want to have a firm hold of the cassava. If not, you might end up hurting your fingers. And secondly, when you cook your cassava with the back on, it helps to protect the cassava from getting soft easily. So I would urge you, next time you make your Abacha, try not to peel off the back, and you will see the difference. And here is the third one. When you cook the cassava with the skin on, to peel the cassava is very easy because the skin comes out on its own smoothly and beautifully. So now let's get into the main thing. It's time to grate the cassava, and I have this particular grater here with me, and it works perfectly fine. Even though we have one particular locally made one which I don't have here, but this one can serve me. And the strands of my abacha, they're very, very good. Like, they came out beautifully. So this is how we grate the cassava to make your abacha. So you just need to keep on grating it this way, but then be very mindful of your fingers, because this can be very, very hurtful. Like, it can hurt your fingernails especially, and which can be so disastrous. So you just have to always be careful and know how to protect your fingers. So at the end, I ended up having 4 tubers that are not well cooked, which I purposely cooked half done in order to demonstrate something to you guys. So all I have to do is just to grate them separately from the ones that are well cooked. This is why I said before to always monitor your cassava while cooking it, in order not to overcook it, because even when it's half done, you still have remedy for it. In some places, some people grate their cassava before boiling it, and some also boil before grating. So I'll just go ahead and put the cassava in a bowl and add hot water to it. So I realized that my water wasn't hot enough, so I have to boil water in a pot and pour the cassava inside the pot. After like a minute, I brought it out and it was good. And guys, here is the outcome after boiling the cassava for like a minute. And have to remove the hot water and add the cold water. And for the rest of the cassava, I also poured in cold water, covered it, and then leave it to soak for hours. Usually I do my cassava during the evening so that it can soak all through the night, to make sure that all the cyanides are being removed from the cassava, which is very dangerous to ingest. So the next morning, I just went ahead to start washing my cassava, rather now my abacha. So there is a particular way we usually wash it back home, which we wash it in a basket, put it in the water, dip the basket inside the water and begin to wash. But here I'm just going to be using my pasta spoon and this sieve to wash it, and they work perfectly fine for me. So usually we wash this abacha for a number of times until the water becomes clear. And you also have to be testing your abacha to know when it's good. Like, once it's good, trust me, you will know. So you could end up washing the abacha 4 to 5 times depending on how starchy your cassava is. And if you prefer to wash it with your hands, just run your hands through the abacha and try not to mash it. If not, your abacha will break into pieces. But I prefer washing it with a pasta spoon and a sieve like this because it makes it a lot more easier for me. So I'm gonna go ahead to give my abacha the final rinse, and after that it will be all good. And look at how beautiful the abacha turns out to be. So the next thing I do is to hang the abacha outside. So it's quite unfortunate that it rained today and the weather is not so good. So usually we make this abacha in a sunny day, but it happens that today it rained, so the weather is not so good. So that's it. I'm gonna go ahead hang my abacha. And it takes like 2 to 3 days to get the abacha all dried up, depending on how sunny the weather is. And after a few days, look at how wonderful the abacha is. Like, it's so dry and crispy. And this is how you get your abacha. So pals, thanks for watching this episode, and watch out for my next video where I will show you the best traditional way of preparing this abacha, of cooking this abacha. And please subscribe, like and share the video with your friends and families, and see you on the next